Forbes has just released a report that anticipates XRP's price will reach over $58,000 by the end of 2025. This lies in under 60 days as we're currently in November and we're talking as early as January. XRP's price will soar to around the $60,000 price point, and it's been reported by numerous articles and numerous sources as well. Like, for example, in this report, Forbes has confirmed $60,000 price per XRP, backed and confirmed by Google. So this isn't something new, but the massive inflow that we are about to see in the next couple of days will trigger the beginning of the massive $60,000 per XRP bull run that is anticipated by the end of 2025. And it starts with this. Forbes revealing that they anticipate Ripple will reinvent the entire payment industry, surpassing SWIFT, and even highlight that within Ripple's $180 billion business model, the $650 trillion market will be facilitated. It is a big deal, and it means tons of money are about to begin flowing into the XRP ledger and into XRP. And as a result, because there's not enough supply, the price per XRP will have to soar. But they don't tell you this, because massive giants like BlackRock, JP Morgan, and numerous other institutions don't want you to hear it. For example, SWIFT right now is nearing an agreement with Ripple to use XRP for cross-border payments. We're talking billions of XRP secured in escrow will be used as liquidity. There's not going to be enough XRP to go around, and these institutions now understand that XRP is literally required to facilitate transactions. Transactions that used to be using SWIFT are now going to be using XRP. And yes, the XRP price is down. We're talking in the last 24 hours about 5%. But take a look at what history has told us from the charts. If you are to get a massive breakout, you need a retracement. Like, take a look at the previous examples. You clearly can tell that prior to the biggest XRP bull run historically, XRP had a run. It increased from 3 cents to over 35 cents. Then it retraced, then we had that massive all-time high breakout. And something similar is forming right now, right in front of us. The largest XRP bull run historically is about to commence, and these reports by Forbes, by numerous officials, have all confirmed that exact thing. The money is shifting and it's about to enter into XRP and into the XRP ledger. And the massive institutions like BlackRock and JP Morgan know it themselves. Take a look at this. Reports have confirmed that BlackRock and JP Morgan are actually buying up XRP, and they're expected to pour a whopping $9 trillion. This is BlackRock, $9 trillion into XRP. Imagine that. Imagine $9 trillion flowing into XRP, which has a total supply of 100 billion. Out of that, you have like a 50 billion lockup in escrow of XRP, and you only have about 50 billion left. And now you're talking about $9 trillion entering into the XRP cryptocurrency. That will cause a supply shock for XRP on its own, but that is not all. Reports have confirmed, leaked reports in fact, that JP Morgan is also getting and accumulating XRP. Look at this report right in front of you. JP Morgan back in 2016 actually had built a UCITS, which is kind of like a fund for XRP accumulation. So basically, JP Morgan has been accumulating a massive amount of XRP back starting in 2016. Now, it sounds like craziness, but the truth is back in 2016, XRP was sitting at the beginning at literally pennies. And then it surged all the way to $3, hitting its all-time high. And then the lawsuit came in and XRP retraced back to, the pennies. So what's happening right now, what we are seeing is a massive scale of purchasing from these institutions. They're market manipulating the price of XRP to keep the price of XRP low so that they can accumulate as much XRP as possible, so that once the price of XRP stops getting accumulated, then the price will soar and they'll be able to sell XRP at a very high price. Now you also have to understand that a lot of the institutions actually require the use of XRP rather than it being used as a form of an investment. For example, JP Morgan facilitates payments at a large scale and pays expensive fees to facilitate large payments. Well, now, because they want to use XRP for payments, they don't have to pay anything close. We're talking, they used to pay tens of thousands of dollars. Now, they need to pay pennies to facilitate transactions, but they need XRP to be able to actually do that. And so it makes a lot of sense why they're accumulating XRP, because they need to accumulate as much as they can for the cheapest amount of price for their actual use case, so that they don't want to pay, millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars to have to accumulate XRP once XRP is sitting in the thousands of dollars, because, again, they want to use it. Rather, they're trying to accumulate XRP cheaply at the lowest possible rate, so that once they require and begin facilitating and using it, then obviously they'll have enough XRP. The price of XRP will soar because of their transactions that, facilitating hundreds of trillions in transactions. The price of XRP will soar. It'll be set at $10,000 to $20,000. But yeah, they don't have to buy any more XRP. And so this is why what we want to do is we need to try and accumulate, right? Because if institutions are accumulating, something big is about to happen, and it's about to happen very, very quickly. And this is why, again, when Forbes comes out with an article like what they've done, which is they basically released an article saying XRP is going to be $58,000 by the end of 2026, and then they deleted that article and instead posted a new article titled Inside Ripple's $180 billion invention. I mean, obviously something big is unfolding on the XRP ledger and will unfold for XRP very soon. And there's a reason for exactly that. See, banks have officially been given the green light to utilize XRP at scale, and this is causing mass scale banking adoption for XRP. But another massive market is about to enter onto the XRP ledger, one that is about to unlock over $654.39 trillion in market inflow onto the XRP ledger. And it's going to happen via the Real token, which is built on the XRPL and uses an institution known as RealFi. See, this is where the money is about to shift. The XRP ledger is getting a massive market, and it's being facilitated by this project right here, the Real token, which is literally priced at 3 cents. It's dirt cheap, but it's about 3 months old, guys. It is growing massively. Now, went from 1/100 of a penny to over 3 cents. And that is without a single centralized exchange. It's with no mass marketing campaign. That is with literally pure utility. And so imagine, right now, you can accumulate a massive multi-trillion-dollar solution to a massive multi-trillion-dollar problem, a project that is actually doing that for 3 cents. It is dirt cheap. And again, imagine once this thing is listed on platforms where there's easy accessibility. When you think about it, Real is facilitating the real-world asset market, talking about real-world assets, solving a multi-trillion-dollar problem in payments reward industry, a multi-trillion-dollar market, hundreds of trillions, that are literally unfolding through a project right in front of our eyes, and it's gonna happen. And this is where it comes into the XRP ledger, right? Because not only is this happening, obviously Real Token is solving this problem, facilitating all this money, set to facilitate at least all this money, but it's also happening directly on the XRP ledger, which just makes things so much easier and so much better. Now, guys, this is why I got myself a massive bag of this token. I mean, when you think about it from the big perspective, there's a lot of money that's going to flow, and because the phase 1 supply is 22 million, the max supply is 1 billion, there's not enough supply to go around. You're talking about massive amounts of demand, trillions, but not enough supply. And so once this thing is listed on a major centralized exchange platform, the price is going to soar. People are speculating. We're talking about experts, right? Experts, analysts. Take a look at this. If I show you a few of these, but experts, analysts are literally saying that the Real token that usually right now there's literally price at 3 cents will go to over $65,000. Why? Well, because 1% of the $650 trillion market actually enters into it, because there's not enough supply, then the price will have to soar. And so this is why I'm very bullish on. A lot of analysts and a lot of people in this space are extremely bullish. You really have to understand that a massive market is about to unlock, and it's all about to, do massive price surges. Like, it reminds me of Bitcoin, right? When Bitcoin was sitting at $1, it was a very complicated, but those that actually were able to do the work, that took the initiative, got Bitcoin at $1 and became multimillionaires, because Bitcoin that's starting to 100,000, 120,000. Even for Solana, all the other big projects, Ethereum, people were able to accumulate at $1, some of them in the pennies, because it was a bit more complicated, but they ran in, accumulated, price soared, they became multimillionaires. This is another once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. These opportunities don't come often, but they're once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, and you are having the opportunity to hear about it first And so this is why I say, again, I'm not a financial advisor, it's not financial advisor, it's your research, but this is a golden chance to look into this and to do your research, because again, these opportunities don't come often. It's once in a lifetime, but generational wealth can literally be created and likely will be created as a result. Again, you're talking about multi-trillion-dollar solutions. Really, this is where the money is going to flow. And it's actually officially been announced. There's going to be a massive centralized exchange listing on December 5th, meaning the price is going to actually continue to soar as we get closer and closer to December 5th. And so this is basically your opportunity to accumulate as much as you can before the timeline arrives. Because once it arrives, it's going to be too late. It's going to be done so. This is where generational wealth is created, guys. So again, the time is now. It's really a situation where it's now or never right there. So again, not financial advice, not financial advice, always doing research, but you can definitely check them out. I'll be leaving all the links down in the description. And again, you're talking about the real tokens backed by a real fine massive institution that is rumored to even be partnering with Ripple Labs, which is insane. But yeah, this is where we are really at, to the point where you can actually buy multi-million-dollar properties using the real tokens. It's, again, it's just massive here. So I'll be leaving all links down below in the description, but take a look at this market, guys. Deeply in the red. It is insane. Let's hope this market recovers, but obviously we do expect it to recover. This is very typical and very normal to see, talking about, a massive multi-trillion-dollar market that is about to unlock for the XRP. But most importantly, before you have any massive major breakout, you need a retracement. And so with that being said, guys, I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. I'll see you next time, and peace.